So till now we have discussed in this chapter the meaning of source of business finance, classification of our financial needs, what type of funds we require in our business. Then what are the different types of sources of funds we have. Some are long term, some are medium term, some are for short term, some are called owners funds, some are borrowed funds. Obviously, either you can invest your own capital into the business, or sometimes you have to borrow from someone if you don't have that sufficient money. So if you are generating the capital required on your own from your profits, that will be called retained earnings. It is the internal source. And if you are getting money from outside the business, then it will be called external source. So now coming to first owners funds we are discussing now. And in category of owners funds, the first owner fund is called equity shares. So now we will be discussing in detail what are equity shares. Have you ever heard about shares? Do you have any idea about shares? What are shares? What you have heard about it? What you know about it? Please share it with me. Yes. See, first thing, we should be clear about the meaning of shares. Only then we will be able to understand what are equity shares. So actually what happened, suppose you are starting a business in the form of sole proprietorship. So there will be only one single businessman, and whatever he feels or whatever is within the reach of that particular proprietor, that money he will be investing in the business. So whatever capital he has invested in the business, that is owner's capital. That is owner fund. So in one way, that is called equity. That is called equity. Now, what share of profit that person will get from his business? If suppose I start a sole proprietorship business, so whatever amount of profit is earned into the business, how much percentage of that profit I will be getting? What is my share of profit in that business? Yes, very good. My form of business organization is sole proprietorship. And sole proprietorship means that I am the only owner of the business. No one else will be interfering in my business. I have the whole decision making power. I have the full control over the business. So whatever profit I am earning through that sole proprietorship, 100% of profit will be of mine only. Because only I am the person who is taking risk there. Only I am the person who is investing money there. Only I am the person who will be having full control of the business, who will be deciding each and everything for the business, who will be managing each and everything of the business. So also the profit will be profit will belong to him. So he is having 100% share in the business. You can say he is having 100% share in the business. 100% capital in the business belongs to him, and 100% profit of the business will also be going to him. Now coming to the partnership. Suppose two partners are there and they decided that they will share profits equally. So how much share, suppose the name of the partner is A and B. So how much share of profit A will get? How much percentage share of profit A will get? Yes, very good. Yes, very good, very good. obviously 50%. 50% A will get. So means A's share of profit is 50% or half, you can say. If there are suppose 3 partners and they also decide that we will share the profits equally, A, B, C are partners, then what fraction of profit B will be getting? Yes. What fraction of profit B will be getting, or what percentage of profit B will be getting? Yes, obviously approx 33%, 33.33%. So means whatever form of business you are doing, you have a share in the profits in that business. In proprietorship, you are having 100% share. In partnership, you are having according to the decided share. What share has been decided by the partners for you on the basis of your capital, on the basis of your time, and many factors count in that, on the basis of your experience, on your links. Many factors count in that to decide what share of profit you will be getting. Now, come into the company form of organization. Company is quite large organization in such scenario. If you compare it with the proprietorship or partnership, company is usually a very large organization. It is generally having a very huge amount of capital. So sometimes it is possible that you have some of your friends or relatives as your shareholders. Means very less number of people are there. You have formed a private limited company. So even then they will be having some share of profit. If suppose 20 members are there, so what number of shares they have purchased? So what we do in company case, because the capital is very large, it is not generally possible for a single individual to invest the total amount of capital which required to be invested in that company form of business. So that's why we usually make shares in the company. We divide the total capital of the company into very, very small units of a particular denomination. Like we can suppose I decide that my company's capital should be 1 lakh. Right on the screen also. Suppose I decided that my company's capital should be 1 lakh. I am just taking an example for clarity purpose. That's why I am taking a small amount. And suppose I divide that total capital into rupees 100 parts. That one share will be of rupees 100 in my company. Then how many shares I have created? Can you tell me the number? Yes, very good. Total capital required by the company is 1 lakh, and one share I have valued for rupees 100. So the number of shares will be 1000. Number of shares will be 1000. So means I have created 1000 shares in my company. Now, suppose one person is A. He has money, suppose 500. Then how many shares he will be able to purchase? His investing power is only rupees 500. Then how many shares he will be able to purchase? Yes. So he will get 5 shares in the company. Then suppose B has suppose 2000 rupees to invest. So how many shares B will get? Yes. B will get 20 shares. B will get 20 shares. This point is clear to each and everyone? Or if any confusion is there? Okay. So each and every person will be holding different number of shares. Even you can buy one share also in the market. If you suppose some shares are there like costing rupees 25,000, 27,000. So then you can purchase a single share also. Even if it is costing rupees 100, even then you can purchase a single share also. It depends on your investment criteria. It depends on your liquidity, your investing power, many factors are there. So each and every person will be purchasing shares in the company as per his or her capacity, financial capacity. But the company has decided this number of shares on the basis of some price. On the basis of some price. That price was rupees 100. So whenever we divide the total capital of the company into small units, these are the units. 1,000 shares are the 1,000 units. 1,000 shares means 1,000 units are there. Someone will be purchasing 5 units, someone will be purchasing 20 units, that way. So these 1,000 units will be sold, and I will be able to collect 1 lakh rupees capital with the help of that small unit. Now I think concept of shares is clear. I will extend it some further. Now suppose in the year company earn a profit of rupees 10,000. Suppose the company earns a profit of rupees 10,000. Then how much profit A will be getting? Can you tell me? How much profit? A is the owner of 5 shares in that company, and total number of shares in that company are 1,000. So out of 1,000, A is the owner of 5 shares in the company. So what amount of profit A will be getting? It will be profit divided by 1,000 shares first, divided by 1,000 shares. So per share profit will be how much? Rupees 10. Per share profit is clear? Per share profit is clear? So now A will get how much? A will get, because he is having 5 shares, that's why A will get 50 rupees as profit out of 10,000 profit. B will get how much? B will get 200 rupees profit. B will get 200 rupees profit. So they are the owner of So now I hope I have made you clear the picture of how number of shares is decided in a company. First thing. Then second thing, how a person can be having more or less shares. Second thing. Then third thing is, what is the role of share in the company? First is capital collection. Through number of shares, you will be able to collect the capital in the business. And also, you will be able to distribute the profits. You will be able to distribute the profits in the company. The ratio will get decided according to the number of shares you are having. Okay, fine. So what we have defined here that we are having 1,000 shares. So these can be of two types. Generally, shares are of two types: equity shares and preference shares. That we are going to discuss now. And this all numerical part. Right now, you are studying theory only, but this accounting for equity shares and many more concepts related to equity shares will come in your class 12th. So that's why your theoretical base should be clear, it should be strong, only then you will be able to understand the further concepts. Now coming to the meaning of equity shares. First thing, these are the shares which do not carry any special rights in the respect of payment of dividend and repayment of capital. So first thing is that the keywords are which do not carry any special rights. Means, despite they are called the real owners of the business, they are having full control over the affairs of the business. They don't have any special rights. For what they don't have any special rights? First, in the respect of payment of dividend. Now, for understanding this sentence, first you should be clear about the meaning of dividend. So, a few minutes back we have discussed that A will be getting rupees 50 share, 50 profit. A will be getting rupees 50 profit. B will be getting rupees 200 profit. B will be getting rupees 200 profit. This 50 rupees, this 200 rupees, which company is distributing among the shareholders as share of profit, that is called dividend. Yes, please. Meaning of dividend is clear. This is another technical term. So they don't have any special right regarding the payment of dividend. Means what it means? It means that company is not bound to pay them dividend compulsorily. Why it is so? I will again correlate it with partnership or proprietorship. If suppose, and if you will keep responding, that will encourage me, because I will be knowing that yes, you are listening and you are understanding also. These are highly technical concepts, so that's why I am relating it with the very simple concept, so that you will be able to correlate. If suppose I am investing rupees 10,000 in my sole proprietorship business, is there any guarantee that I will be able to earn this amount of profit, or whether I will be able to generate profits or not? Is there any surety? Is there any guarantee that if I invest 10,000 rupees in my sole proprietorship business, from the day one I will be earning rupees 100 per day or rupees 10 per day? There is no guarantee. This is called risk. That I am taking a risk of 10,000. It may be possible that instead of earning profit, I incur loss, and whatever capital I am investing in the business, that get vanished, and I have to either close my business or I have to again invest the amount into my business. That may be the situation also. So means I am having full control over the business. I am the single owner of the business. No one can interfere in my decisions. Even then, I cannot guarantee the profits. That is the risk of being owner. That is the risk of being owner in your business. And same is the case with equity shares also. These are the real owners of the business, and that's why it is not guaranteed that whether you will be able to earn any amount of profit on the capital which you have invested in the business. So this special right is not there for them as payment of dividend. Even I extend this concept. Suppose we have taken an example few minutes back, that company has earned 10,000 rupees of profit. Even then, company may refuse to pay dividend. Company may refuse to A, that we will not be paying you rupees 50. They may say that we will be paying you rupees 10 only. Or even they may say that we will not be paying you any dividend. We have earned the profit, but we will not be able to pay you anything this year. They can refuse. But then they will be refusing to each and everyone. It cannot be that they will refuse to A, but they will pay to B. It is not possible. Means whatever will be done, it will be done for all the shareholders. This is clear? Now, next concept, next privilege, next special right. What they don't have any special right regarding repayment of capital. Regarding repayment of capital. Okay, now again I will correlate it with sole proprietorship. If suppose I start a sole proprietorship business with a capital of rupees 10,000, is there any guarantee that when I will be closing my business, at that time I would be able to get back my invested amount? Can I guarantee it? Business is in my full control. I am the whole sole owner of the business. Can it be guaranteed that whatever amount of capital I am investing in the business, that I will get back for sure? Even I am not able to earn the profits, or even I am not able to run my business properly, that I will be getting back. It will be rare. It may be, but it is not guaranteed. You may get 5,000, you may get 2,000, you may get 10,000, you may get nothing. It is also a part of risk. So if you are the single owner of the business, you are the whole sole owner of the business, you have control over the affairs of the business, you have the whole decision making power, even then you cannot guarantee that I will be able to collect back my amount of capital invested in the business. So same is the case with equity shareholders also. If suppose A investing 500 rupees, it is not guaranteed that A will be getting back tomorrow with 500 rupees from this company. Company may incur the loss and the capital may vanish, or capital may reduce. That's why people are afraid of entering share market. Whatever amount you are investing, it may increase also, it may decrease also. Both way it can go. It may become zero also. So whatever shares you are purchasing in the share market, that are equity shares, and you are not, you cannot suppose that I will be able to earn profits, and you are not able to make sure that whether my capital will be also increasing, or I will be getting back my capital amount which I have invested in the business. Yes, till now we have discussed only the first point regarding the special rights. There is no surety of payment of dividend, and there is no surety of payment of capital also. There is very high risk in equity shares for the investor. From the point of view of investor, it is highly risky capital. It is highly risky share. And because the share is quite risky, that's why its return is also good sometimes. The equity shareholders are known as the real owners of the company. At this point, I have already explained with this first point that these are the proprietors of the company in one sense. The money raised by issue of equity shares is known as equity share capital. So the money invested by the proprietor is also called equity. The money invested by the partners into the business, that is also called equity. The money invested by the purchaser of equity shares into the business is also known as equity. So meaning of equity shares is clear. The other type of share is preference share. That we will also be discussing. Wait for some time.